Boom, there we are. Hey, how is everyone doing? My name is Kurt, and I'm a dad who draws, and we are here together on our Monday landscape kind of drawing class. We usually do this in the afternoon at 2 o'clock, but boy, I had a busy morning. Just got swamped today, and I just couldn't get it. So we had to postpone it. I hope that didn't mess anyone up, but here we are, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and we're still going to do it. If you're brand new to the channel and happen to see this, we do have a Facebook group that you can get a link for. Down in the description, I would recommend that you join us. We communicate what's going on. But another great way is to, of course, subscribe to the channel and share out these videos. I'll try and help you out every step of the way in order to make you a better artist, a better drawer, right? So we get together on Mondays and Wednesdays. Wednesdays is our weekly portrait class. Join us for those days, and hopefully we could see you get better. Hopefully I could see you get better and better at drawing. Okay, let's jump right into this here. We've got a nice group of people. Judith and Nanette, Louise is here, and Ralph. All right, I'm happy. I'm good to go with that. I always like at least one person live, so to get 6 of you makes it that much better. All right, before we get into this, I have this other class that I teach daily. It's called the Daily Draw, and we were talking about composition today and thinking of the rule of thirds. And I just kind of want you to be aware of where some of these things are falling in place. Grouping, okay? So like foreground, midground, background, all right? And as we think of these objects, let's kind of bring them into focus, all right? So what do I mean by that? And I seriously, let me go ahead and get a color up here that you can I can show you. Let's start with just getting a nice frame here. And we'll work within that frame. And typically, because we work from photographs, I'm always apt to get some type of frame in place. And I know we have Sarah will come in a little bit later. She'll want to know what size this is. So I'm actually, the size of my drawing board here, or the frame that I'm using, is only 3 inches by about 4, 3 by 4. So, hey, it's Mr. Farmer's here, SB Farmer. So when you are drawing, make sure you keep your picture small, because we're going to try and get through this thing in about 40 minutes. And if you go big, anything bigger than 4 by 5, you're not going to be able to keep up. After we draw it, and if you want to go to something larger, then you'll have more time to do it. But for these little classes, I say keep your picture small, and we will make a lot of progress. So when I start laying this thing out, I want you to think of, look at this. Look at where, this comes in near the bottom third of the picture. You see this? And then if I come around here, look at that. That comes almost halfway in, a little bit more than halfway. If I come down here, look, this is almost halfway from top to bottom, you see? And this little island here, look at that. It's not very big. So when we start putting these objects in place, I want you to be very careful that you get the sizing of them right. And I will help you do that step by step. So let's get rid of all that junk there and get right into it. Now, what I recommend is my drawing process has 3 parts. Usually I will drop in a gesture, then I go to construction, and then I go to detail. And in detail, we go with value and then we add the detail on top of the value. You'll see what I mean if this is your first time here. But let's go ahead and start with a horizon line. That's always a good place to start. I'm going to just put it in here just above center. Just above center. And mind you, this little island comes out almost to the center. You see that? So let's just kind of put a little dot here, almost to the center. This will kind of give us something to aim for. And then the bottom where the shadow is down here, look at about where that is from the top to the bottom here, and I'm gonna put it about maybe right there. Right about there. Now if I kind of draw a vertical line, okay, look at my alignment. My alignment is of that whole, that tree, everything is kind of to the left of that. So let's very lightly, I mean, I'm talking very lightly, just come in here like this, and then let's bring this up like this, and that will, all right, you ready to rock? So this kind of gives me the area here. This kind of gives me the area of this tree. And if you're looking for on Procreate, I use, just so you know, I use a 6B pencil, nothing special. This just comes with Procreate. And I've always had this brown paper background. So if you happen to use Procreate and you want a copy of this paper that I use for my background, just reach out to me. Send me an email, kurt@kurtaspland.com. And I will be happy to, I'd be happy to send that to you. Just let me know and it will be on its way. All right, let's jump over to the other side now. We kind of got our little island over here. All right, so we're just kind of like coming like this. All right, I got this rocky, the coral looks like underneath here, right? Just like this. So that's pretty much, you know, that's going to help me to like sharpen in all my different areas. It's going to corral my designs. All right, let's come in here now. This is kind of, I'm going to get my little base. So really carefully here, look, I'm going to kind of come in, kind of comes in like this. When I draw, and we'll get to this in just a minute, but when I draw palm leaves, I usually like to have one sharp edge like this, all right? And then I'll put like a little guide underneath. And then you could do this a couple ways. One way is you could just kind of come in here like that, you see? That kind of has a palm feel to it. And then you can also, there is a guide for the underneath. You know, then you actually could come in here and start to work on the individual leaves if you want to. That's another way to do it. So it's a little more stylized this way and a little bit more realistic this way. I'll let you decide how you want to pull that off. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to like act like this big palm here. First, I'm just going to kind of put a circle. This is going to help me establish how far to make those palms to come out, right? And then this trunk really kind of curves in just like that, you see? And this one's gonna they almost start at the same exact spot. Hey Nancy, how are you? Okay, so I'm kind of got some general guidelines where some of my pictures going to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to squint my eyes. I'm going to squint my eyes, look at my picture, and what I want to do is just kind of add a little bit of value. I'm not really worried about the darks and lights yet. I just want to put value. If I squint my eyes, so I'm not just working on top of the color of the paper. I'm actually having some value underneath my drawing. Hey Chris, how are you doing? Same thing. This is going to be a little bit. This will be a little bit lighter, but we can still just drop something in here because we're going to make the other side much darker here. And I'm also going to add some value, I think, in this coral reef underneath. This is like what I like to bring things into focus, okay? All right, let's go ahead and start with these palms. This big one here will go first. So I'm just going to come in here and there's the top of it. All right, there's the shape. All right, I have another one up on top here. Now, hold on here. We're not done with these guys quite yet. All right, curve on the top and then there's another one on top of that. Just take your time with these. And they got one way up there like this. I'm doing well. You know, okay, now look at this. This palm here that I'm starting to draw it's bright. Do you see that? How bright this one is? So really what I want to do on this, I want to just kind of, I just want to hit the edges here. Look at this. You see? I was telling Jackie, my wife, I think in the evening time, I like to, it's like my lazy time. So the fact that we get together, it's a great time. It makes me feel good. All right, let's keep going here. So I really, Chris, you asked me how I was doing, and I'm just telling you that it's just nice to draw as a group. Okay, now check this out now. Now our palm, I've got my palm in place. But if I look at the picture, we've got a lot of depth in the picture because some palms are in shadow and some are not. So now that we've got some detail here, let's just go in and darken some of these palms that are dark in the photograph. Yeah, it is a great wind down. Okay, I'm gonna come down here and hit this one side of that trunk, and then I'm gonna add a thickness to it a little bit. And I'm gonna just kind of leave that because we'll come in and add some value here in just a bit. There's another one that's like circling way up here. I wish I could put some music on while we do this, but I'm always afraid of getting some type of copyright strike, whatever it is. All right, look, there's a palm coming in here. You see this? This is a big one. So so this is the main vein in the middle there. And notice when I drew this palm, here I'll draw it over here for you again. I didn't go like right down the center, you see? I pushed that vein over just a little bit. This creates this creates that contrast where you're going to have one side a little bit narrower than the other. It creates not perspective, foreshortening. It's like you're looking across the top instead of right at it. If you just kind of draw the stuff without thinking, you'll end up doing everything perfectly even like this. But if you think through what you're doing, you will get this sort of thing, and it's so much more interesting. All right, and then the bottom of this is in shadow, so I'm going to add a little bit of tone to that. Okay, we've got some nice bushes over here, so I'm just going to add some value right up to the edge of that trunk. We're coming along nicely. How are we doing? 23 minutes. Okay. So look at this. Edge here. You see this? So I'm gonna just kind of, there's rocks here, something like that. Surface lines. Nice dark value underneath here. Beyond this, you can see another little ledge in the distance. Let's kind of put that in as well. And believe it or not, this also is darker in value. It's all about getting the right values. A lot of times when I'm drawing a picture, one thing I like to look for is silhouettes of shape. So, like for example, let me show you this over here. Look, here is a shape. It's a silhouette of a dark, just almost black value right in there. You see that? Let me remove it now so you can see it. There it is. So let's just put that in and not really worry about what's causing that. Let's just try and get that nice shape in. And then there's another one. It's over here. Look at this. All right. We got a lot of palms. Take your time with these palms. Top of the palm, there's the bottom. Looking at the picture, and I'm just kind of filling in some of these trees I see. And even in here, it's just taking on shape. If you were doing this as a much larger size, then you could kind of noodle a lot of this detail here. But since we're just trying to get this sketch in, you can see just it's a mixture of value and texture. On that note, if there's something that you want to make stand out, you just have to color around it, add value around it. I think that's a big thing with drawing when you don't do this to me now. When you start seeing values in things, that will really change your game. All right, so we have these trees in the background here are almost silhouette. So let's just carefully put them in. Ooh, I'm ready to go. All right, looking at this jungle here and trying to, that looks pretty good. Now let me just kind of look one more time and come back and get some of these interesting shapes, silhouette of shapes in the jungle here. Now I could come in and add some value, a little bit of value to these tree trunks, you see? So the back end where they go into the jungle, they're going to be a little bit darker in value. Okay, I think that one's pretty good. We could even come in here with a little more value on these guys, I think maybe. Okay, let's squint and start working on this other. So this, you got this little tree in the distance here. He's lighter in value. If something is in the distance, typically you want to make it lighter in value because that will come across as oh, that is awful what I just drew. I gotta redo that, sorry. Because it will, things that are lighter in value usually means they're further back in space. They're further back, they're further in the distance. All right, so I'm going to squint my eyes. And I'm just going to try and fill this whole area in as a shape. One shape of one value. Okay. I have my one value. Now I could come back in and start adding a second value and adding some detail. So these will start to take on the idea that there's trees back here. I just have to be, what I like to say is I want to group my values. So you have both darks and lights, because if you squint your eyes really closely, you could see that there's lots of different values going on with these trees. And it's not really necessary to get all the detail. You just have to really focus on what the values are, you see? Look at down here now. Look at the shape. I remember in, this thought just occurred to me. I remember back in high school, I had an art teacher who I didn't really like get along with, and it's probably my own fault because I just wasn't nearly as dedicated with as some other students were. But the point was that he was designing a school poster for the West Side Story, the school musical, and I remember this. I don't remember what the poster ended up looking like, but I just remember him using silhouettes of palm trees to represent Puerto Rico, and I don't know. The power of that silhouette was just, those silhouettes were just really captivating my mind as a high schooler. And whatever reason, I just remembered, I didn't understand why I liked the poster so much, but as I've developed over the years, I've realized that the use of a silhouette is just so powerful. Okay, so I'm kind of leaving the white of the page here and just kind of bringing some light tone into the water, because I really want to have that white sand beach. You see that? And then if you look at the horizon line, there's this darker edge way in the distance. Then you got the ocean that's like creating foam, maybe some waves back there. And then that brings us into this lagoon. And don't worry about the shadows yet. Let's just get in some tone here for our water. So I would start off just by doing the best you can of getting a nice even tone here. Just even across. All right, I'll give you a second here to get caught up. I'm going to even come in here and darken this. I still don't like how make sure these palms are dark on the edge there. All right. Okay, look at this over here. If I squint my eyes, we've got this reef underneath here that's very dark in value. So the edges are soft because it's underwater. And then on this side, we have another reef. We still haven't put in that nice, lovely shadow yet. Sure takes on a whole nother idea when you are drawing tropics with one color, huh? All right, there's some rocks or something underwater here, and it's sort of changing the value of the water, so we're kind of putting those in. Okay. build it up to it. Don't feel like you got to get it all in at once. I'm going to also add just a little tone to the sky, not a lot. And I'm only going to put tone where I see the blue sky, all right? I'm really kind of darkening this edge over here because I want the eye to be drawn in. And if I make that edge darker, then my eye will be pulled in. And on that note, one of the most common mistakes I see a lot of students make is they don't go dark enough with their value. So what you want to do is make sure, if you can, have a full range of values, darkest darks and whitest whites. You're pretty good. Most students are pretty good at leaving a white, but when it calls to get as dark as they can, it's a little bit scary. All right, let's go ahead and get this shadow that's coming across the water. And here's one little area I want you to be aware of. Right in here, look at this. Because you have these waves that are picking up light. Now, if you could get that, boy, that's going to make your drawing look so sharp. It's going to make this whole area look like water. So let's look closely at this. So we have this shadow shape right here. It's pretty solid. And then it changes into waves, so like little choppy waves. So I'm going to try using maybe some scallops. When I say scallops, I mean I'm just kind of adding these type of marks to the surface of my water. So let's see how that does for us. And this comes out quite far here. Leaving little bits. Little bits of the water. Checking my reference. Okay, not bad, not bad. Down here, you can kind of start seeing some shadowing in this rock underneath. Maybe a zigzag. Oh, great. Yeah, that's a nice comment there, Ralph. A zigzag shape. Most definitely. Yeah, that I think works pretty good there. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, I don't think, huh? Okay, we've got some more stones underneath the water here. I really want this beach to pop, so I'm going to add a little value around the water around it. You see, that will make it pop off of sand just a little bit. All right. How's that looking? I think that looks pretty good there. Just take a step back here. Boy, I like painting water, but drawing water, especially if there's not a lot of waves, that presents itself to be far more challenging. And typically, what I usually do in order to make water something to read as water, usually you could do a reflection in it. So now that I'm looking at this picture here, I just realized something. See this? I think this right here is the reflection maybe of one of these trees. It's pretty dark underneath that cliff there. Don't change yourself in that blackness and that value. Okay, I think that's going to do it for tonight for myself. I hope you learned something there, and just trying to use values and going from a gesture, let's see, or a tree off picture. Yes, true, so true, Ralph. That shadow may be a tree that we can't see, absolutely. But hey, make sure you post your work in our Facebook group. If you're looking for extra help, join me in the Daily Draw. That's a program I have. That's a class that we get together every day of the week. If you really want to improve your drawing, that's the way to do it. Is to draw consistently every single day, and I help you do that with the Daily Draw. Check it out. Link in the description. Please make sure you like the video and leave a comment. Just leave a comment. It could be anything. That's always so helpful. Listen, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thanks for watching tonight. Go out there. It's Monday. Have a great evening, and I will see you later. My name's Kurt.